Hello and welcome to another episode of Explorers of Elsewhere's Faction Actions. I am Dan. Welcome. We are here to have another delve into what the factions of Elysia Rising have been up to whilst the party have had their downtime. Last time we visited this, we noted that there was a lot of factions that were very close to completing their goals, and some of them in fact did. So there's a few new kind of blank clocks on the horizon. The City Watch, the Children of Ire and Blackguard are all starting fresh new projects, with the Chainbearers and the Cobbles only one segment away from completing theirs. Off the back of episode 6, the crew have actually had a pretty good time of things. So having completed the altered mission, as per Odal Mercer's request, the party have found that their standing with the pillars has increased by 1, which has taken them to +2 with the pillars, and the Chainbearer specifically +2 as well. As it currently stands, the Faith has also gone up by 1. The Children of Ire believe that the crew have successfully completed the job they tasked them to, so they've kind of gained a positive reputation there. If that was ever to come to light that that's not entirely the case, then you could well expect that that reputation will soon drop back down, maybe even lower, with the tinged with the pain of betrayal. But yes, this is how the factions kind of stand. In episode 6, the crew have had a scrap with the guard, which has reduced their reputation with the City Watch to -2, and therefore their reputation with the guards to -2 as well. So, with all that in mind, let's turn our attentions to the factions to see what it is exactly they're up to. There's less known goals on the table now, as new projects from the factions are started up, and there's not really been an opportunity to find out what's been going on. But we'll start with the ones that we do already know of, the Chainbearers, the Cobbles, and the Shield of Elysia. So we'll start with the Chainbearers. They were very much aided by the party in the last episode, so they are a 3 dice faction, and let's see how they get on. A partial success is all they need to tick up to completion. So they have successfully recovered some void touched items, and we'll see the ramifications of that in a future episode. The Cobbles, they are almost ready to expand into Old Town. Let's see how they get on with a 1 dice roll. Say our tier 1. A 4. Yeah, that's fine. So they also tick up their last segment. So the Cobbles now have a firm foothold in Old Town, which is good for them. And finally, the Shield of Elysia. They are a tier 2 faction. So we will roll 2 dice to see how they got on in investigating the ghost up at Amringer's. 2. Not very good. So they only get a single segment. Times is hard, it would seem. Okay, so yeah, those are the known factions. I'm going to quickly go ahead and start rolling all these new clocks. The City Watch have a new 6-segment clock, the Children of Ire 6-segment clock, and the Blackguard have a suspicious 6-segment clock. So yeah, let me get these rolled out, and then we'll see how the ground lies. Okay, so as was to be expected, a lot of the factions have completed their actions at the tail end during the episode 6 downtime. Specifically, the EIC have completed whatever it was they were doing, as have the Elysia, the Lodge Reticent, the Garden Keepers, the Orchestra, and perhaps worryingly the Kindling. Unfortunately, the Hollow, perhaps stymied by the player's actions, have not been able, only filled out one segment of their clock, and the Tellers only managed a single segment. Yeah, we have we will be going into episode 7 with a lot of things kind of happening in the background, a lot of moving parts which the crew are going to have to kind of pivot delicately and gracefully for in order to kind of tackle those. And yeah, we'll see how they kind of get on with it when they find out what has changed in the city. In terms of what's going on in the city, as an aside, in the last session, so in episode 6, during her downtime, Magpie completed her investigations. So whilst she was completing them, she was able to find out a few kind of bits of knowledge here and there, which is why some of these actions were filled out. But the true goal at the end of it was to find out what the ramifications of the death of Marionettes was, and how the factions kind of sit with each other, and who's kind of rubbing shoulders, and who's rubbing shoulders in a good way and who's rubbing shoulders in a bad way. As that clock has now been completed, I have given the players access to a relationship matrix spreadsheet that I use to kind of keep track of what the factions think about one another. I use it to to come up with complications and kind of developments in the story that make appropriate sense. One of the times that it was really handy to use was during the Amringer job, when I knew that the Shield of Elysia and the City Watch were kind of not very friendly towards one another, which is why when that complication arose, it was the City Watch that came charging up the hill and not, say, another faction. So now that Magpie has can report back with an idea of how everyone feels, I will give the players access to that matrix, so they can kind of start playing the faction game a little bit more, which will be very interesting to see how they kind of what levers and wheels and cogs they turn to influence things, presumably for their own benefit. Right, so I need to go and figure out what all of these completed clocks means for episode 7 and onwards. If you liked this kind of behind the scenes kind of mechanics from a Game Master's point of view, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below on what you think some of these completed goals are, and then to see if you are correct, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications of new updates and uploads, because they're happening really quick, and yeah, I wouldn't want you to miss out on the videos where you see these clocks come sort of like become real, become tangible. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.